Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel for, well, a little bit more of a different video compared to usual, because today we're not only going to be speaking about Chelsea versus Prague, obviously in the second leg of the Europa League quarterfinals, which is taking place tomorrow evening, but we're also going to talk about a bit of the Champions League, because obviously the first part of the second leg of the quarterfinals in the Champions League took place last night, and a bit of a madness happened again, really, with Ajax Amsterdam, of course, getting through to the semi-finals by beating Juventus after already knocking out Real Madrid in the round of 16. And Ajax are just on a bit of a madness, and obviously the question is, can Ajax actually win this? Which would obviously be absolutely crazy because, with the league they're playing, with the financial capabilities they have, and with how regularly they lose their best players to the bigger clubs in Europe, as is going to happen this summer again, even without them going this far in the Champions League, it's actually crazy that they are where they are right now. But, obviously we're still going to talk about Chelsea, against Prague, but it is kind of the second leg, and we already spoke about the first leg, and, there's the second leg preview is always a bit like, well, what do I actually talk about? But, of course, this is the first actual, video in a little while, as of obviously the last two, videos on my channels were more live streams. So, yeah, I do hope you enjoyed that. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would massively appreciate that. Let's keep it growing. Just hit 3.5 K subscribers, so that is obviously great. Drop a like on this video, leave your comments, any thoughts you have down in the comment section below. And also one other thing I do want to mention, again, like I said a couple of weeks ago, do vote for me in the Football Blogging Awards in the category of the best international content creator. Everything you need to know about that is down in the description below. So if you fancy voting for me there, that would be massively appreciated, really. And then one last other thing that I do want to mention is that, my channel, if you've, seen the last video and you read the comments, you would have noticed that, but, my channel has now been permitted for monetization by YouTube, which means you are now seeing ads on my YouTube videos, which for me personally is great because I can make money off this YouTube channel here, which is perfect. Not a lot of money at this size, but money nonetheless. So, two things. I do apologize for the ads. There will be quite a lot of ads because man needs to make money, innit? So, don't come at me, oh, you're doing so many ads. Well, man needs to do his thing, really. So please don't use your ad blocker if you are using one while you're watching my videos. Please don't. But yeah, that's enough chitter-chatter, and let's just get into it. Because, like I said earlier already, Ajax did beat Juventus in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Obviously, the first leg ended in a 1-0 in Amsterdam, sorry. And now last night, they just beat Juventus 2-1. And that was a very flattering result for Juventus Turin. That was a very flattering result. Like, literally, that could just as much have ended like 5-1. Okay, maybe 5-2. But 5-1 to Ajax. Literally. They had so many chances. That Ajax team is ridiculous. The pace at which they attack, their movement of the ball is ridiculous. Like, when you hear me constantly preaching that Chelsea need to move up the ball more, we don't obviously play exactly like that because they're a bit more direct, although Sarri likes to be direct, just not to that extent and not under any circumstances, which Ajax do kind of want to do. But their movement is ridiculous. And obviously their position in the passing for the most part is as well. The only kind of issue that they, in my opinion, will face along, in the semi-finals and possibly a final if they get there, is that they sometimes overdo it. They sometimes overcomplicate it once they get into the final third, but especially the opponent's box. Like, so many opportunities where I'm like, just shoot now. And then they try to, square it again or pull it back again or do it back heel again. They just overdid it. And even with doing that, they could have scored like 4 or 5 goals. Like Szczesny in goal for Juventus. I don't know how he developed into the goalkeeper he is right now, considering what he was like at Arsenal. But he's ridiculous these days. But the amount of saves he made, the amount of ridiculous saves he made, fair play. But Ajax literally so many chances. But they're so good. What a team they are. I mean, their captain, Matthias de Ligt, is 19 years of age. Ridiculous. Like ridiculous. And obviously they had some, in a bit of a different situation to what they have been in the past, with everyone going and that team being completely youngsters. They do have Dusan Tadic, who, playing style-wise suits them perfectly, but he's, I think, 30. Daley Blind obviously came back from Manchester United to be kind of a bit more of an experienced player in there. But then the rest of the team is ridiculously young. You have Neres, you have Ziyech, who actually isn't that young. Or Ziyech. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce his name, in all honesty. So many young players. They're young. Obviously, they licked. And, you have Tagliafico. You have so many unbelievably good and young players. It's so beautiful to watch them play football. Like, they play some of the best football I have ever seen. Ever. And that I've watched a lot of football in my time. I have watched a lot of football. And I'm amazed. And I do hope that they somehow miraculously manage to win the Champions League. I mean, that would just be incredible. And obviously the other game that took place last night was Barcelona absolutely smashing and annihilating Manchester United, pretty much as expected. Obviously the first leg ended in a pretty close 1-0 win to Barcelona through an Luke Shaw on goal. you know, if Luke Shaw doesn't get a touch on that, Coutinho scores it. But so it still was an own goal. And that wasn't a great game. Wasn't a great game to watch. Wasn't a great performance for Barcelona. Man United didn't manage to make use of it. But in the second leg at the Camp Nou, you know, Barcelona showed who they are, and Manchester United showed who they're not, really. Just showed who they're not. It was kind of similar to the game we played against them just last year, except that we were a lot better than Man United were today, even though the result was the same. But, you know, Barcelona are just pretty damn good. Lionel Messi is just pretty damn good. I mean, he's the greatest of all time. It's not even a debate. All right, I haven't seen Pele and Maradona, but Pele counts all of his exhibition games goals to his goals tally. So just for counting those himself, you should automatically not be in a conversation about the greatest football of all time. So that just makes you look ridiculous. That's like Arsenal counting a community shield as a trophy. Well, just worse, but still. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. You can't be doing that. Anyway, and, you know, Maradona was busy on doing other things and not exactly doing it consistently, did he? But anyway, you know, not about the greatest of all time conversation. Ronaldo also scored, still knocked out though. But of course, you know, did great things with Real Madrid in recent years. But still, I mean, Messi's first goal was a ridiculous finish, like just a ridiculous finish. And De Gea, the best keeper in the world, well, wasn't being the best keeper in the world. Fair point, for a few years, maybe 2 years, he was possibly the best keeper in the world at that point, alongside Manuel Neuer, in my opinion, who at the moment is also, you know, heavily declining. But now I think it's not even a question that it's Oblak, possibly Ter Stegen, but he does have more mistakes in him than Oblak. Oblak doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Oblak is ridiculous. Also has a great defence in front of him, fair play, and also plays in a defensive team. So you know, he's kind of more supported and less so in really tricky situations. But that goal De Gea conceded wasn't that tricky situation. He could have literally like controlled that with his foot and passed it out. He didn't even need to dive for that. Like, so some players on the pitch sometimes control harder passes than, you know, that shot by Messi, because he was kind of slipping, you know, while he went for it, but De Gea let it slip through, and that was 2-0. That was game over, really. I mean, in the second half, Coutinho, with an absolute screamer, made it 3-0, of course. And then, you know, Messi tried a bicycle kick, and Barcelona just shut it down. You know, it could have got one back in the end, but Ter Stegen made a great save. But that's that. Obviously, if I'm not mistaken, Barcelona play against the winner of Liverpool-Porto, which is obviously taking place tonight, so probably Liverpool, and then Ajax will face the winner of Man City against Spurs, which is also going to be very interesting, with Spurs obviously winning the first leg. Hopefully City can knock them out, because I cannot bear seeing Spurs in the Champions League semi-final, please no. But yeah, you know, obviously, again, going back to Ajax, ridiculous. Again, I do hope that they, you know, beat City, that would be great, or Spurs. I mean, it would kind of be even funny if they beat Spurs, just to like, you're in the semi-final now, you're playing against a pretty much nobody team, even though they of course knocked out Real Madrid and Juventus already, and the history is ridiculous, but as of right now, Ajax weren't really like in any conversation of, oh, can Ajax win the Champions League at the start of the season or whatever. And then they got knocked out, but then that would be a bit Spursy. That would be funny. But still, I'd rather City beat them, just, you know, in case, just that can't happen. But yeah, you know, it's ridiculous. I mean, De Ligt got the winner, and you know, they had offside goals, they had penalties that they possibly should have had. That, you know, man, I'm still in shock by Ajax. I am still in shock. But that is enough about the Champions League. Let's now talk about Chelsea versus Prague tomorrow evening, of course, in the second leg of the Europa League quarterfinals. Now, of course, I was at the first leg. If you didn't see my live stream after the Liverpool game, I did plan to vlog that trip. I did kind of vlog it, but it just didn't turn out great. There just wasn't a video in that. There's not enough I recorded, and obviously you can't just record the pitch and put it in a YouTube video for copyright rules by the UEFA, or for Premier League games by the FA, of course. So it's not that easy, and just isn't going to happen. I don't know. I need to work on my vlogging if I do want to do that. But yeah, of course, it's the second leg. We go into it with a 1-0 lead from the away game, which is obviously good. We got our away goal. They didn't score. You know, of course, would have loved to win with a, you know, bigger margin, 2 or 3-0 or whatever. But, you know, we won. We got our away goal, so I'm pretty happy. Now, the question is, how much rotation are we going to do, of course? How much can we risk it? You know, Antonio Rudiger, I'm recording this before Maurizio Sarri's, you know, pre-match press conference. I don't know right now how serious Antonio Rudiger's injury is. We haven't really heard anything about it yet. I'm told that he doesn't think it's that serious, but I don't know what that inclines, if you will. So I don't really know what that means, in all honesty. Well, he's not going to play tomorrow. I'm pretty certain of that. But then, how much rotation are we still going to do? I mean, I played Giroud again. You know, tried to get him the best chance of winning the Europa League Golden Boot. For me, one of Hudson-Odoi and Hazard has to play, and if Hudson-Odoi plays, he has to play on the left, not on the right, like he did at Liverpool. I think that just suits him better. Even though, obviously, for creating the width which we needed, it made sense why he played on the right against Liverpool. Even though, obviously, his main strength is then crossing, but that's just going back to the point that I've made, that, you know, his weak foot still needs, you know, drastic improvement, you know, improving to, you know, be good enough to be like a consistent game changer for us, in my opinion. I wouldn't go with Pedro and Willian again. Like, that didn't work in Prague at all. So I play, well, Pedro and Hudson-Odoi or Willian and Hudson-Odoi, whichever, and have Hazard on the bench again if we need him. The midfield, to be honest, I'd go with a similar one to what we had away in Prague, except that I'd leave Kante in there and play Kovacic instead of Jorginho, because Jorginho really needs to rest now. Really needs to rest. He's playing way too many games, the poor guy, and he's one of the hardest runners we have in the team. Like, as much as people want to criticize him, the guy doesn't stop running. The guy, you can criticize a lot of things about Jorginho, but not his attitude. You cannot criticize Jorginho's attitude and effort. Just no. Alonso probably should play again. Could be Emerson, but Alonso should probably play again. Christensen. And I guess David Luiz could also put Gary Cahill or Ethan Ampadu in there, with Rudiger obviously having that injury problem now. And then right back, I would actually go with Zappacosta. We have that one away goal lead, so just play Zappacosta. Like, Aspi also needs a rest. Aspi really could do with a rest, even though I thought he was pretty good against Liverpool for the most part. The guy could do with a rest. Like, give the guy a rest. Have him on the bench, in case something goes wrong and we're defensively all over the shop. Bring him on for Zappacosta, even if it's first half. But, start with Zappacosta and, give that a go, basically. But other than that, for the game, I mean, we are, of course, the favourites. They will throw everything at us. Of course they will. I mean, they might start a bit more, pragmatic and a bit more safe, because they don't want to concede a goal by us straight away, because then they're kind of in a bit of a pickle, because then they obviously need two. And, they don't want that to happen. But as the game goes on, if we do score, then it's over anyway. But if they, unless they score, basically, as the game goes on, they're going to be more and more adventurous, and it will give us more and more spaces to get in behind, to counter-attack. They will obviously try everything. Obviously they will. I mean, there's no point not trying for them, is there? But then we will find spaces, and I'm confident that we will be able to get goals, unless our finishing is, absolutely shocking again. But yeah, I am pretty confident of the game. At the end of the day, all that matters is getting through. Obviously, top four is again a little bit more difficult after losing to Liverpool, and obviously United won their game very fortunately in the Premier League against West Ham. Watford lost to Arsenal. Again, I didn't watch the game. Don't know much about that. I just know Arsenal took the lead with a keeper's mistake, and then Troy Deeney got sent off, and still Arsenal didn't manage to get more goals than that. And that was Arsenal's first away clean sheet of the season, I think. So yeah, yay Arsenal, great job. It took you long enough. But yeah, obviously that didn't help us. So that obviously makes the weekend again a little bit more tricky. But still, the most important thing right now is getting to the semi-finals. Then it will be interesting to see whether Eintracht Frankfurt or Benfica, will be our opponent in the semi-final. Of course, Benfica won the first leg 4-2. But 4-2, Eintracht Frankfurt, all they need is a 2-0 win at home, and I very much so believe that they can get there, or 3-1, of course. That would be more than enough for them. They do have a couple of injuries, and they do obviously have that suspension from the guy getting sent off after like 10 minutes in the first leg. But, I still think that's very much possible. I think that will be an interesting game. Would be interesting to watch if we weren't watching Chelsea, was it? But, I'll definitely be watching the highlights of that and the analysis. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, the other part of the game as well, Arsenal-Napoli, other part of the tree, if you will, with the Europa League tree, Arsenal-Napoli. I hope Napoli can turn that around, except for my Mkhitaryan card on FIFA, on Ultimate Team, if you know about that. For that, it's good if Arsenal get through. But other than that, please, Napoli, just beat them. Both because I think we stand a better chance of beating Napoli than we do against Arsenal. And also then that just takes any chance of Arsenal winning the thing. So that's just perfect. But yeah, to be honest, that's going to be really it for me. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I hope that we rotate. Like I said, I hope that we play well. I hope that we play a lot better than we did last Thursday. But, if Alonso wants to score another winner, fair play. Go for it, Marcus. Go for it. I was very pleased when he sscored. I don't care who scores. I don't care if they have bad performances. I'm happy for you if you score for my team. And it was great. It was very good. Because we're on our way to Baku. And I can't wait for the semi-final, for the final. Beautiful. I can't wait. But yeah, like I said, this is it from me. Like I said, I do apologise for the amount of ads, but please just deal with them. Please just watch the entire video, and please just deal with the ads, and just make me money in a sense, because it doesn't cost you any, does it? So that would be massively appreciated. Of course, subscribe, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave me your thoughts on Ajax, on Barcelona, on Messi, on possibly Spurs, City, and obviously Liverpool, Porto. The Chelsea game tomorrow, do you think Benfica will go through, or Eintracht Frankfurt, Napoli, Arsenal? A lot of things that I spoke about today. Leave me all of your thoughts on them down in the comment section below. And yeah, that's really it for me. Not sure when exactly I'm going to see you next. I might do a live review after the Europa League game tomorrow. Might do, not a guarantee. So as usual, I shall see you when I see you.